Hey, this is Adam from Up North Workshop, and today I'm going to be replacing these switches with some new paddle switches. Kind of done this at the cabin all over the place, so just want everything to match. So these are just regular two-way switches, and I'll show you how to install them. Alright, now I need to turn off the power to the bathroom upstairs if I want to replace those lights. So luckily I have this cool circuit listing that says number 7 is what I'm looking for. So one thing I did is I left the lights on up there just to make sure. So I'll just turn off 7. Now I'll go back upstairs and just make sure the right breaker was turned off. So the lights did turn off. What's a little weird is this night light is still on. What I'm actually going to do is take this cover off, and then I'll use my voltage tester here to see if there is actually any electricity in this box. And now I can see when I put my voltage tester in there, it's definitely still hot. So even though none of the light switches work, there's still electricity in here. So I definitely don't want to stick my hand in there. I'm going to go look at my circuit listing again and see if I can figure out what's feeding this outlet. So I missed that there is number 18 here, outlets for Bath 2 GFI. So that's what this is. You can see the light turned off, and I no longer have any voltage inside this box. So that's why always good to use a voltage tester, because you just don't know what's in there. Alright, now that we're sure there's not electricity in there, I'm going to go ahead and just take these switches out. Alright, so now I'm taking the switches out. You can see that they're kind of daisy chained together. So we have, it's like the switch here coming from the hot. Some of them are backstabbed, that's what this is, and then some of them are on the thingies here. And then on the bottom here, you can see how they're daisy chained together. So that is how it's coming from the power source, which is this one right here. So this actually goes back to the breaker. And then from there, each switch is connected to the other switch, which provides power to each one of the switches. And then this, at the top here, this actually goes to kind of the receptacle. So I believe this one is for the fan. And it has both a light and a fan. That's why there's two here. This one is for the heater, likely why it's red, I think. And then this one is for the light in the shower. So that's kind of what we're working with. So we pretty much need to take all these switches off. We'll likely need to cut these backstabbed ones, because when they're backstabbed, they're kind of stuck. Sometimes you can get them out. There's a little pin in there that you can press, but depending on how much wire you have, it's kind of hard to press that. And then we'll just kind of rewire it the same way. I like going kind of one switch at a time so I don't lose which wire is what. You can always mark them if you want for later use, but it's pretty easy if you just kind of do one switch at a time, put them in the same place, and then from there it should all work again, hopefully. Alright, now we are going to put on our first switch. So I'm going to take off this here. Alright, that goes to either the fan or the light. Cut this off. Strip it down just a little. Alright. Now this is the hot end. This comes from the brake. Alright. Now, got my new switch. Make sure it's the right direction. It's got some text on the bottom. Alright, I'm going to do here. Bend it around. Hook it at the bottom. I'm going to hook it down and around so that when you twist it, it gets tighter and not the opposite way. There you go. So now the hot end is on there. I'm going to put this and backstab it in there, just like it was before. See that? No copper is showing. Take this one, wrap it around there. Same way, underneath. If you're going on the other side, you'd have to go over the top. There you go. Now that switch is done. So now, let's go ahead and do the other two switches. Alright, all three switches are done. I'm going to go turn the power on and just double check that these work. Then we'll close it up. Alright, all the switches are on, lights are back on. I can turn these on and off. You hear the fan stopping. So, seems pretty good. Alright, turn the power back off. Just double checking. I'm gonna move the wires back in there and stuff so I don't want to electrocute myself. Everything should be pretty well wrapped up though, so let's do that. Alright, I turned the power back on. Everything looks good. Now we're just gonna line up our plate here. You can see that I gotta move these guys around a little bit. Gotta slide that over. I'm also just trying to make it so I can line it up without forcing this on, because these things can crack if you push them too hard, which I don't want to do. So we're pretty close. Alright. There we go. Get the right screws for this. Alright, there we go. Our switches are done. I probably could fix this box a little bit. You can see it's sticking out a little. Maybe I'll do that another time, but for now, pretty much works just as it did, but now with paddle switches.